Well, howdy tubers. Well, I just had a request, hopefully a subscriber, um, for an engine video. He wanted to know if I had done any. And I thought, well, I have done them, but if he's new to the channel or whatever, well, we'll just give him and all you other ones a look-see too. So he was wanting to know what it was, so it is a half VW that's cut in half. Here you can see where the engine's still hot. So anyway, you can see where the rear jug would have been on this side, and then they cut that much of it off, and then they bolt on this plate behind there, and then of course that's where your Magneto hooks into. And your carb intake, well, the head is just one head that they've cut in half and then welded on. And this is done by Hummel engines, Scott Kessler Hummel engines. And he welds on this chunk of aluminum on the back and adds the tube here for your intake, and plugs off where the dual port intake was at. And then uses the other half that he cut off here for the other side. And then does the same thing. Adds a chunk of aluminum on the back side here. And of course the tube here for the intake, and then plug off the dual port. And then he also takes this is the part that gets me. Cuts the valve cover in half and welds it. But that isn't what really gets me. It's that he welds that bail and it holds. That's incredible. Anyway, so then we've got a Y pipe that's going down there to an updraft Zenith carburetor, and that tubing wrapped around the intake serves as your oil cooler / carb heat, which I know I'll get a bunch of people saying, well, how's that working as carb heat? It's before it gets to the carburetor, not on the intake side of the carburetor. Well, it is what it is. That's what it is. And it's a 94 by 86. And of course, this is my second 45 horse. That's why it's got Brooks 2. And that's 94 bore, 86 stroke. Stock is, I think, 77 point something by 69 stroke. So that tells you how much bigger this booger is than a stock, I'll say, 1600 VW. And then I made these little scoops here to help cool the cylinder. What else can I tell you about it? Oh, I'm needing to, or try this anyways. I'm gonna spread out these tack wires. Hang on there. Okay, I spread those out a little bit so they're not as close together. Talking to Terry yesterday about it, and I told him that I had them tight around there, and I said, should they be loose like an extension spring instead of a collapse spring? He said he didn't know, but give it a try. See if that makes it a little more happier. Okay, and down here, yeah, shoot. There we go. I'll point at the motor mount with the oil dipstick tube. Right here, this angle is bolted on and sealed to the side of the case for your motor mount. And then of course the motor mount for the airplane is built into the airplane. There's the other side and this side. So your motor mount is actually part of the aircraft structure. Now on my H5, since the motor that I had originally didn't have the these side rails on there. They call this a beam mount, like model airplanes. Didn't have that, so I made my own chrome moly mount that, anyways, that's different airplane. But anyways, I made my own mount for it. So, not sure what else to show you, so I'll just, of course, this is the oil cooling lines that go to the wrapped around oil cooler, plus that goes up to my, and you've seen those videos, to my front oil cooler that's up here that I've put all that baffling on. So anyway, there's a video of the half VW for, his name was Frederick W. Oh, these are OEM, I think that's how they call it. I mean, they're original, old, like from the 40s Magnetos that Scott uses, but they're brand new. But he says he doesn't trust the, I think he calls it a capacitor or condenser that's inside here, and they're like $200. You can still get them and replace them in there, but he found that these that he can put this $30 one on the outside, and so heck of a lot cheaper than the $200 one that he was buying to put on the inside. Which now I don't know if it's still in there or if he put some kind of spacer. I don't remember on that. But anyways, before this video gets too long, we will. Oh, of course, that's your oil pressure, and oil temp is down there. So there you go. Hope this helps you out, Frederick W. And God bless.